Welcome back. We should continue. Now let's look at this interesting picture we have here. Just reflect on yourself. Are you aware of your emotions? I asked this question earlier. What kind of a person are you? When you are extremely angry, what do? People bend things on the walls. You find that they've bought phones. I don't know how many times in a year. How many times have you bought phones this year only? You bang your phone on the wall, you take the computer, you bang it on the wall, and then there are, consequences after that. You have to, this was a company, a property, you have to pay it now, they're going to surcharge you. So how aware are we with our emotions? How aware are we? Are we aware that this is how we react, this is how we behave when faced with certain situations? Remember, we said self-awareness is the ability to recognize and understand one's moods, emotions, and drives and their effect or impact on others. That ability to read one's emotions, to recognize their impact while using gut feeling to guide decisions. Knowing one's emotions. You know that people who are able to read themselves to know, you know what, as we normally say, this one is pressing the wrong buttons, and then you retreat. Or someone will just leave to say, you know what, I don't want to do something that I'll later regret. It means someone else is aware, at least. They are aware that if I don't control myself, something bad will happen. And hence, normally when we don't control emotions, there are always consequences. So that person, I would say, they are aware of their emotions to say, this person is pressing the wrong buttons, and I'll end up reacting in a manner that I wouldn't want to react. Therefore, they retreat. They say the most gifted leaders are self-aware. How self-aware are we? We are leaders. We are managers. We are leading people. We are managing people. How self-aware are we? What kind of impact have our emotions in the past month only, or the past week? What kind of impact have they had on the people I work with, the people I supervise, the people I report to, the people who report to me, and colleagues generally? Are we aware? Are we those kind of leaders who are aware? But as they say, what matters most is how you see yourself. Now, this one should make you think deep, in all honesty, to say, what kind of a person are you? At the end of the day, like it says, what matters most is how you see yourself. You know what kind of a person you are. You know what kind of a leader you are. You know how you react. Also, I'm thinking you have already now reflected. You perhaps now are aware with certain emotions, and you know what kind of impact they've done to other people. People that you work with, people who report to you, and people you report to, colleagues generally, or even your family. We're leaving family aside, and we shouldn't be. Even family, it's not only about work, because even family. Because what normally happens is that something happens at work. I am so angry, knock off time, I go home and I take it out on my children or my family. Or something happens at home in the morning before I leave, and I'm so angry and I take it out on my colleagues, or I take it out on my direct reports. So it really is not only about the working place, but it's also about family as well. Now, another one is empathy, to say, how empathetic are we? Remember, empathy is not sympathy, but if you are emotionally intelligent, you need to be empathetic. Empathy is the ability to understand the emotions, the emotional situations of others, and treat them according to their reactions to a situation. It's a crucial skill for employees, since an employee's work is about working with others in situations of tension and pressure. And imagine this is where we spend half of our time, or more than that. We go home to spend just a little time with our families, and then we sleep. Tomorrow morning, we're back at it. So obviously, there will be those situations of tension. We're working under pressure. We tempers flare, and as all those many things, because you are also exhausted. Now, as you're exhausted, you take it out on another person instead of just going to rest a little bit, and all those instances. So empathy skills enable people to relate to the feelings and situations of others. Especially in mentoring and coaching, you try to put yourself in other people's shoes. Also in working and building relationships with people, in listening to the emotions expressed in difficult situations and respond, accordingly. Acknowledge and deal with those emotions in a productive way. That is what empathy is. Now, I like this quote. I'm not sure who the owner is, but it says empathy is seeing with the eyes of another person, listening with the ears of another person, and feeling with the heart of another. You try to just put yourself in their shoes. Try to understand, what is it that they are seeing that I'm not seeing? What is it that they're hearing that I'm not hearing? What is it that they're feeling that I'm not feeling? You literally put yourself in another person's shoes. Then we have self-regulation. Obviously, we spoke about it as well, to say once you are aware, you need to know how to manage those emotions. That ability to control, to redirect, that disruptive behavior, the moods, the impulses, and to suspend judgment, to think before you act. How many instances, if we were to reflect, to say, I should have, I could have, I would have, because now damage has been done. You're able to act before you thought. So now we are saying, be able to analyze the situation, be able to think before you act, because normally there are consequences. I should have, I could have, I would have. They say should have, could have, would have. It really doesn't solve anything because it has happened already and damage has been done. All people in work situations involving strong emotions be able to understand your own and theirs, deal with the mistakes, handle tension and conflicts with and between others, and because temptation can make you act hastily, so we don't want that. It involves controlling emotions and impulses and adapting to changing circumstances. Be able to control your emotional responses, be able to adapt how they react in interpersonal situations, be able to mentally step back and respond thoughtfully under pressure, and also build a climate of confidence and respect, to the team. That is being able to manage your emotions. Management. So now they say good leaders or great leaders understand and control their emotions. Nelson Mandela, being the kind of leader that he was, with those many years that he spent in jail, what would have been the first thing that you did yourself when you got out of jail? This I always ask. Are you going straight to the person who put you there to kill them, to beat them up, to do what exactly? But they say great leaders, they understand and control their emotions. So what kind of a leader? I'll go back again to say, what kind of a leader are you? But even besides that, what kind of a person are you? Are you now self-aware? Are you now reflecting on certain instances of things that perhaps shouldn't have gone the way they did, but they did? Damage control now. What are you going to do moving forward? Now, the other one, which is the last one, is the social skill. With this one, we're saying the skill of applying and presenting skills to build and maintain relationships with a wide range of people. There are people who really do not have social skills. There are people who just get along with everyone, and then you get to wonder, how do you just get along with everyone? But it really is a skill. You just get to, you just have to learn. These people are skilled in persuasion, using different approaches according to the different situations. They're very, very good at building networks. They're comfortable with and interested in a wide range of people. But there are also people who are different. I think if we're to perhaps give it a name, we would say introverts and extroverts. I don't think introverts really know how to, I don't think they have that social skill, because they work well alone. Yes, they do interact, but they work well alone. But now an extrovert, this actually describes an extrovert. That's, in fact, emotional intelligence also talks about introverts and extroverts. That ability to sense, the ability to understand, and the ability to react to emotions while comprehending the social networks. That is emotional intelligence and the social skill. But what is important, we're saying you are able to do all this while you're intuitively grasping how others feel. You're able to do this while intuitively grasping how others feel and also how they make you feel. I'll see you in the last session. I think what we're going to have now will be the last session.